I want to do in this demonstration is go through the saw. I'll start on this end, work through the other end here, and show you the parts of the saw, and then we'll take a piece of stock and show you how the saw actually works. Okay, first of all, on this end here, on the back side, we have a lever here. When we pick our head up, there's a lever back here, and we pull it towards ourselves to hold it. And we pick it, push back up on it just a little bit, push it ahead, and release it. Now we pull it back to hold, or back towards yourself to hold it, push it forward to release the head. Then, coming around here, we have our tension wheel. This is makes our adjustment. So move this here, idler wheel here, forward and back. Adjust the tension on the band itself. Now, when you're adjusting the tension, this is a spring-loaded device here. We run it to this washer. It's right tied up against the stop. That gives us the proper tension on the band itself. And down here, we have our start and our stop buttons. You just push the start button for it to run, and the stop button, you can either just push it off if you want to stop it, or as the head is coming down, we have a automatic shut-off. When it gets through the piece, this here will automatically shut the band or the saw off. Moving along here then, we have a guide here, and our guide arm right here. This is a slide and a guide arm. We just loosen the lock here. This is a movable arm. This one here is the solid guide. Now, we want to keep this distance between the guides as close as possible when we're sawing. Now, the closer we can keep them, the more rigid our blade will be held. And this will make for straighter cuts and an all-around better setup. Over here, we have our stop. You can adjust this back, forth. What we use this for is a stop. We move this down, and you butt the stock against the stop and cut off any number of pieces the same length. Now be sure that when you're using the stop that you put it down and move the piece out and clamp the piece in the vise, then move the stop out of the way. Now the reason for this is when the band gets through the workpiece, if the stop is down like this, the piece will have a tendency to turn, it'll bind up, and very often it'll break the band. So be sure that when you use the stop here, that you move it out of the way when you're sawing. On the back side of here is our controls for our vise. We have a cam action lock on this. This means pulling the vise out, pushing it back solid against the workpiece, then pushing this lever down. So it's a cam lock or a cam action vise here. Just butt it up tight against the piece and push this lever down. We also have our coolant. This here, coolant control valve. It runs coolant through this hose, and we adjust the flow right here. Turn the coolant on, or maybe if you want more coolant, you can flush it, open this valve up. Over here, we have our chart that tells a band speed. That band speed is given in feet per minute. That's the distance that the band moves in a minute. Notice it goes up from 65 to 185. Now this is a variable speed adjustment. So when we adjust the speed, we want to be sure the saw is running. I'm going to turn the saw on. Back here we have our variable speed control. If we move this clockwise, we slow the band down. We are down to about 70 feet per minute. Turn it counterclockwise, speeds the band up. Okay, that pretty much covers the parts of the band, or bandsaw. Now we'll go into the actual operation of it. The first thing we have to do, we have to look at our chart here. We have an operator job selector, it's called. We look on this chart, and this will give us the information we need to know as to the type of band and the speed at which we should be running the band. So the first thing we have to know is our material. We're going to be using a low carbon steel. Here we look under material. Here we have low carbon steel. We have high carbon steel, or cutting nickel or moly, or chromium steels. You may get into some cast or aluminum or even some structural steels. Be sure that you pick the right material, or use the chart according to the material that you are cutting. In the next column here, we're going to work the chart off to the left here on this side, because this is an English system. Now over here we have the thickness of the metal in inches. It says up to 3 inches or over 3 inches. And this is the thickness or the diameter of the stock we're going to be using. Next is a column is our pitch. They're talking about band selection here. It gives a pitch of the band. Now bands are classified according to pitch. It says up to 3 inches. We want to use an 8-pitch band. I think we'll take a look at our illustration. I can better show you exactly what pitch does mean. Pitch is the number of teeth in an inch. Just mark off 1 inch on the band and count the number of teeth. Now we want to use a fine pitch for our smaller materials and a coarser pitch, or less number of teeth, when we get into a large diameter. Okay, once again we'll come back in our job selector here. Again, we're on a low carbon steel. We're going to cut a piece of stock off that is 1 inch in diameter. So it says up to 3 inches, gives us an 8 pitch. And the speed, the band speed here, there's 2 different speeds that they list off here. One is for a variable speed, and one is for a 4-step pulley. Well, this particular saw is a variable speed, so you'll use this column right here. Get your proper band speed. Okay, it says low carbon steel up to 3 inches, 8 pitch, 150 feet per minute calls off. So what I like to do now, I'm going to run it at 125 feet. I like to slow it down a little bit here. It saves our bands a little bit. If you were running in a production shop, you would want to run this at the recommended speed here of 150. But we're not that interested in the high production here. So we're going to slow it down a little bit, and it will save our bands considerably. Set this on 125 feet per minute. Next we have to, we'll have to change our band. I have a 6-pitch band on here right now. It calls for an 8-pitch. Now I don't have an 8-pitch, but we have a 6 and a 10. For a 1-inch stock, the 10 would work a little bit better than the 6. The 6-inch or the 6-pitch band would have a tendency to start chopping the material. So we'll use a 10-pitch. So we're going to have to take the band off here. First thing we have to do is loosen our guides. We have 2 guides here. There's carbide guides inside here. There's carbide inserts here. Loosen the guides up. And we'll have to release our tension in the band. and remove our blade. Now when we take a band off the machine, be sure that you coil this up and put it in proper storage. Now when you do this, just hold the band in this fashion like this, and we'll push forward on one hand and back on the other one, causing a twisting effect, and it will coil the band right up. Just bring it right around like that, and your band is ready for storage. Now I have a 10-pitch band here. Now if you're a little bit confused as to which band or what the pitch is on the band, you can just measure it. Take a steel rule, line it up one of the teeth, and just count the teeth along the band. You'll be able to see here, it's a little difficult to see, but you can just actually count the teeth in an inch. And this here is a 10-pitch band. Now be sure that when you go to put the band on, that the teeth are running in the right direction. You want the teeth to be pointed towards the back of the saw here. And you probably need a little bit of help when you go to put one of these bands on. We'll get Brian in here. I'll get it on the guides here, Brian, and maybe you can just help me hold it once we get it in here. Okay, first we want to put it up in the guides. And then push it on each of the wheels. There's a shoulder on the back side here. We just push it right against there. Hold that side. We'll do the same on the front. And we'll tighten our band up. Okay, I think that'll do it. Thank you, Brian. Again, check, make sure it's against the shoulder, make sure it's up in the guides, and then we can put our tension on the band. Remember, you turn the hand wheel here until the washer gets to the stop here. Bring the washer right up to the stop. Now be sure that you retighten the guides on the band. Let's take a screwdriver here, tighten this up, just so it's snug. Don't put too much pressure on, but just run it up so it's tight, and then back it off a half a turn. Remember, so it's tight, then back it off a half a turn. Tight, back it off 1/2 turn. This puts the proper tension on the band itself so it will cut straight. Now we're ready to clamp our workpiece in the vise. We're just going to use a piece of 1-inch stock here. This is a long enough piece, we'll have no trouble clamping this in the vise itself. I just put it at any random length there. All I want to do is demonstrate how the saw works. I'm not particularly fussy what the length is the workpiece is. But if you were cutting this off, you would want to measure exactly the distance the workpiece you want to cut off. Now if you want to cut off a large number of them, remember, set your stop. Be sure that you bring the stop out of the way when you're cutting. I'd like to go to our illustration now and just show you a little bit here on the proper procedures for clamping short pieces. Here you see 2 setups. This is a setup in the vise. This is a good setup, and this is a bad setup. And the reason this is a bad setup is for holding short pieces here. You can see that the vise jaw, this is the movable jaw here, this is cocked off to one side. Therefore, it's not holding this workpiece solid. What will happen here is the workpiece could loosen up, it could come out of the vise and break the blade, very definitely would make a crooked cut. So the proper way to hold these short pieces is to put a block in on the other side of the jaw. Notice here, this is our workpiece. This here is just a piece of scrap steel. A steel block or a piece of steel the same thickness as your workpiece itself. Now what this will do, this will hold the jaw parallel so that we have good clamping on this here on the short piece. Once again, be sure that this is a good setup. Be sure that your vise or movable jaw is parallel to the solid jaw. I'm going to turn the machine on. And turn the coolant on. Be sure that you run coolant on this, on the band when you're cutting. Keeps the band cooler, helps remove the chips, and reduces friction. And then pick up on the head, release the head. And what I like to do here is just hang on to it and let it get started cutting before we release it. Give it a chance to get cutting before you release the head. Okay, now we can release it, and we'll let it cut through the workpiece. Okay, and our piece is cut our piece off. Okay, in summary then, remember when you're using the bandsaw that you pick the correct band for the job. Be sure it's the right pitch. Be sure that you have this proper speed set and you have the tension set proper on the band. Also remember, when you're changing the speed on the band, to change it, it's a variable speed, change it with the bandsaw running. And last of all, remember, when you're clamping short pieces, to put that piece of scrap stock in the backside of the vise so that both jaws are clamping parallel.
The preceding materials are copyrighted by the District 1 Technical Institute, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Duplication of these materials is strictly prohibited. Infringement may result in penalties ranging from fines to imprisonment.